Hey everybody, I posted an article on my Facebook page the other day and it actually got a lot of attention. People are talking about it and the post is being shared. So I just thought that I would bring this information to you. And basically, I want to talk about this first. What if the trucks didn't supply the stores anymore? What if all of the stores closed down, period? Like Walmart and Costco and Sam's and all these other places where we get our products and food and all sorts of things from. What are you going to do? How are you going to live? See, we are so dependent upon the system that we have forgotten how to do things ourselves. And I'm so thankful that I grew up in a time when we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have all computers and all these other, electronic devices and everything. So I know what it's like to not have those things and to actually do for yourself. In fact, my mother used to garden when I was young. I was forced to garden. I was forced to learn that. And I'm so glad that I was forced to learn that, because now I have my own garden and I grow my own food because of all of the GMOs and stuff that they put in the food today. So if they cut off the supply of the stores, which they're closing down lots of stores, and I don't know if any of you have been paying attention to that. A lot of stores have closed down, even prominent stores that are doing well, like Walmart's. So something's fishy going on. And that's the thing. We're so busy watching television, listening to music, and just depending upon the system and thinking that it's always going to be there for us, that we're not looking around to see what is really actually going on in the world. You know what I mean? So this article that I put on my Facebook page basically was saying that we need to start prepping, because they are expecting some type of terrorist attack to come and to wipe out the grid completely, the electronic grid completely, which means you won't have any cell phones, you won't have any ATM machines, the stores are going to be closed down, everything is going to be closed down. And so what are you going to do? How are you going to take care of yourself? Okay, I'm going to post this video in the description section up under my video, but I'm going to read a little bit to you. And the heading, it says, start prepping. It says, electric grid prime target of terrorists, profound threat, says the council. In a new report that warns that the electric grid is the prime target of terrorists, Americans, here in the United States, the electric grid is a prime target of terrorists. It's saying that Americans are being urged to prepare for up to 6 months without electricity, transportation, fuel, money, and health care. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. We know who was behind the 9/11 attacks. We know that it was the United States government, period. So whenever they say that it's going to be a terrorist of some sort, do you really believe that it's a terrorist? It's the United States government. I mean, think about it. They're the ones that actually equipped Osama bin Laden with all of his war weapons. They actually even taught them war, right? And everything. And they're the ones that put them up to doing that. So all of the attacks that have been on U.S. soil have actually been perpetrated by the United States government. So if this is something that you're not aware of, like, why are you warning the public anyway? This is something that they know about. This is something that they already plan on doing. And they're just kind of giving you the heads up if you just happen to stumble upon this article, right? So it says, people no longer keep enough essentials within their homes, reducing their ability to sustain themselves during an extended, prolonged outage. We need to improve individual preparedness. A just published report to President Trump. There needs to be more individual accountability for preparedness, as the report. Surviving a catastrophic power outage from the President's National Infrastructure Advisory Council and published by the Department of Homeland Security. It looked at the potential power outage of up to 6 months and recommends that Americans have enough supplies on hand for a minimum of 14 days. Organizations, like the prepper organizations, they usually have like a 6-month supply, but their standard supply is 14 days. So this is what they're saying, that they're suggesting to people to have at least a 14-day supply in case the power goes out. Because again, like I said, it's going to wipe everything out. You can't use your phone, you can't use your ATM cards, your credit cards, or anything like that. Anything electronic, you're not going to be able to use, which is essentially everything that we have. Right? You're not going to be able to get gas. If an EMP will disable your vehicle, it will disable all of your electronics in your home. It's very, very devastating. And so for those of you that don't know what an EMP is, take a look at this.
It's been the stuff of fiction on the Fox show 24.
It's an EMP!
But it's also a real threat, experts say, and it likely wouldn't look like that. An EMP attack, they say, is an intense burst of electromagnetic radiation. It can be triggered by detonating a nuclear weapon at high altitude, a weapon that could be launched by a rogue nation or a terrorist group with access to it. Detonated low to the ground, atomic weapons have a devastating physical shock. But detonated miles up in the atmosphere, experts say, the main impact is electrical, energy that doesn't kill people but spreads like lightning, striking any electrical grid or circuitry, feeding into them, burning them out. Whole cities could go dark. Security analyst James Carafano has written about EMP attacks.
In one single event, what could be disabled?
If you had a large-scale EMP event in the United States, everything would be disabled, because even things that weren't knocked out, let's say your car, which might be okay, but the electrical grid's going to be gone. There's going to be no way to do traffic lights. There's going to be no way to land ships. There's no way to get fuel to the gas stations to refuel your car. And if you got them there, the gas pumps wouldn't work.
Think of this fictional attack in the movie Ocean's 11. We demonstrated electromagnetic interference on a much smaller, less threatening scale at the University of Maryland, showing how magnetic fields from some electronic devices often interfere with other devices.
You hear this ringing behind me? We're showing you what electromagnetic interference is. Say this television is a car. The car's function is rolling along normally. Here's a cell phone ringing. When it gets close to that, you can see how the audio of the television signal changes. You can hear the interference. That's essentially, it's interfering with the car's function.
But with a large-scale EMP attack, experts say, computers would fail, telecommunications cut off, bank accounts inaccessible. They say that's because the transformers that power many electrical grids take a long time to manufacture and transport. And with transportation knocked out by the attack, that prolongs the isolation. Brian Todd, CNN, Washington.
Well, I know that some of you are going to say, oh, well, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to let the Creator take care of me and everything. You know, even the Creator helps those who helps themselves. So we can't just sit around and wait for the stars to fall out of the sky and not prepare. You know, I'm just using an example, you know, and then expect for Yah to work with. Well, I mean, what does he have to work with if you're not doing anything for yourself? You know, we as a people have become so lazy and dependent. You know, we're afraid to bust a sweat. We're afraid to get out in the garden. You know, women with their little fake fingernails and stuff like that, and their hair, they don't want to sweat. They don't want to sweat out their relaxers, and they don't want to break their nails. I mean, we really have got to get out of that. You know, and we have to start doing for ourselves, because we cannot trust these people that are ruling. You have to understand that these people have a satanic agenda. They have a depopulation agenda, okay? And you are included in that agenda. They do not want you around anymore, okay? So it's just imperative that we do for ourselves, no matter what race, nationality, color, creed, whatever that we are going to be affected if we are not a part of the elite, okay? All of us are going to be affected, Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. They don't like any of us, again, that are not a part of the elite, and they are trying to eliminate all of us, okay? So I say prepare, 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 and if you don't, just suffer the consequences. I mean, you have no one to blame but yourself if something like this happens and you're not prepared. It's better to spend the money and be prepared for any type of attack that happens to come our way than to not have done anything at all and then need it, right? So stock up. What type of things do you need to stock up on? Stock up on batteries, because like I said, anything electrical is not going to work. So anything battery operated, hopefully it will still work during an EMP. I actually didn't check that, but stock up on your batteries, stock up on rice and canned goods, candles, and all sorts of other things. And what I'll do is I'll put a preparedness list in the description part of the video. Until then, shalom. Shalom. You can start by going to Amazon.com and type in preparedness kit in the search box inside of the Amazon.com website, okay?